Very much, Councilmember Campbell. My name is Raul Campillo. I'm the council member from District 7 and the chair of the Economic Development and Intergovernmental Relations Committee. On June 24th of this year, the conservative justices of the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, a landmark case that's often called a super precedent, that for 50 years served as part of a collective of cases protecting the right to privacy and most directly the right to abortion. And since June 24th, our country as a whole has taken a massive step backwards as numerous states in our union have passed laws in spite of overwhelming popular disapproval and in the face of overwhelming healthcare data that shows that access to safe and legal abortion is at the core of comprehensive healthcare that saves lives. The conservatives of the Supreme Court claim that the right to abortion is not rooted in the history of our country and thus is not a right at all. Proposition 1 is a sign of these roots here in California, and that it will be written into our state constitution, meaning those roots reach down to the bedrock of our law. Our state is moving to protect the rights of people in California and to keep government out of their most intimate medical decisions. And California will not stand by as members of the Supreme Court of the United States and lawmakers in states like Kansas and Texas work to roll back our rights and further try to let other states reach into California and punish people here who seek reproductive health care services. Proposition 1 ensures that in California, the government will not deny or interfere with an individual's reproductive freedom and their most intimate decisions, and this includes their right to have an abortion and their right to choose or refuse contraceptives. Co-authoring this resolution with my colleague and accomplished physician, Councilmember Dr. Jennifer Campbell, is important to me because we take a stand not just against losing the right to abortion, but against the very logic that says if a right was not contemplated by American legislators and judges in the 1860s, then it must not be a right in the Constitution. People, in the 1860s, one of our biggest debates of the day was whether or not washing your hands could stop the spread of germs. The mortality rate of new mothers hovered between 15 and 20% from bacteria that spread in hospitals from doctors that did not wash their hands. Conservative justices are imposing a worldview upon us all where we are forced to live with the ignorance and worse, the outright mistakes of the 1860s. So why is this so important? Because we are hearing and reading story after tragic story across our country where states that have banned abortion have led to these recurrent scenarios. Pregnant women have had dangerous miscarriages or maybe an ectopic pregnancy or some other medical complication, and hospitals have to tread legal water before providing any help to these women as they are near death because these healthcare providers fear that they might be prosecuted for saving a woman's life. That is happening all over our country, and we all ought to be sickened by that fact. Between 15 and 25% of pregnancies, and possibly more, knowingly end in a miscarriage, and about 2% of pregnancies are ectopic and threaten a woman's life. Performing care that resolves these types of medical issues are identical to abortion care, and thus, conservative states and judges are simply saying that they'd rather live and rather force us all to live in 1860 rather than in 2022. I will never abide denying the right to accessible, safe abortion care because it saves lives. And furthermore, it saves lives of those who oftentimes do not have medical care or the means to pay for it. And what is more, given the sensitivity and the deeply personal decision involved, regardless of the reason, the government ought not invade that private moment. It's simply none of our business. So today, we will begin the process at the Economic Development and Intergovernmental Relations Committee to formalize the City of San Diego's support for Prop 1 and to further solidify San Diego's support for the right to reproductive care and contraception, a federal right for the last 50 years and thankfully still a right in California. I want to thank Senate President Pro Tem Toni, Atkins, always a hero on these issues for San Diego and more, and the many other leaders at our State Assembly and Senate who worked so diligently to put this proposition on our ballot for voters in November. And I urge my committee members and colleagues on the City Council to support this resolution moving forward so that we can have final approval and tell where the City of San Diego stands. We support Prop 1. Thank you so much for being here today.